Stop. Before you scroll away, listen carefully. What I'm about to tell you was never meant to be shared publicly. Carl Jung wrote about it in private letters. Monks whispered it in silence. And the rare few who understood it changed forever. There is a reason your life feels like it's falling apart right now. There is a reason you feel empty, even when nothing is technically wrong. There is a reason you've lost interest in people, places, and pleasures that used to excite you. It's not depression. It's not failure. It's not weakness. It's something far more dangerous. Something the world doesn't want you to know. Because right before the greatest chapter of your life begins, something inside you must die first. And most people misunderstand this death. They run from it. They medicate it. They distract themselves from it. And in doing so, they kill the very transformation that was about to make them powerful. If you've been feeling lost, isolated, exhausted, disconnected from everyone around you, this is not random. This is not a coincidence. This is the beginning. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what's happening to you, why it's happening, and what comes next. But you have to promise me one thing. Do not share this with anyone who isn't ready, because once you understand this, you can never go back to who you were. Part 1. The collapse of the old self. You wake up one morning and something feels different. Not wrong, not broken, just different. The job that once gave you purpose feels hollow. The friends who once made you laugh feel like strangers. The goals you once chased feel meaningless. And you can't explain why. You look in the mirror and you don't recognize the person staring back. You're not depressed. You're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. You are dying. Not your body. Something deeper. Something the world cannot see. Carl Jung called it the death of the persona. The mask. The version of you that you built to survive in a world that demanded you be someone you were not. For years, you wore it. You smiled when you wanted to scream. You agreed when you wanted to argue. You stayed when you wanted to leave. You performed. You pretended. You played a character so convincingly that even you began to believe it was real. But the soul keeps records. Every time you betrayed yourself for approval, it was written down. Every time you swallowed your truth to keep the peace, it was written down. Every time you pretended to be smaller than you are, it was written down. And now the bill has come due. This is why you feel exhausted, not physically, spiritually. You are tired because you have been carrying a corpse. The corpse of a self that was never really you. A self built from other people's expectations, other people's fears, other people's voices. And that corpse is heavy. Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But before you can become who you truly are, you must first see who you are not." That is what is happening to you right now. The mask is cracking. The performance is ending. The character you played for so long is dying. And it terrifies you, because you don't know who you are without it. You don't know how to function without the approval, without the validation, without the predictable applause of people who only loved the performance. You feel naked. You feel exposed. You feel like a fraud. But here's what no one will tell you. This is the most honest moment of your life. For the first time in years, maybe decades, you are face to face with the truth. The truth that the life you built was not yours. The truth that the goals you chased were not yours. The truth that the identity you defended so fiercely was a costume, and the soul will no longer let you wear it. You try to go back. You try to reignite the old passions. You try to force yourself to care about the things that used to matter. You try to fit back into the life that used to fit. And nothing works. Because you have outgrown it. The container is too small. The skin is too tight. The story is too shallow. And so you collapse. Some collapse loudly. Through breakdowns, through tears, through addictions, through self-destruction. Others collapse quietly, through numbness, through silence, through staring at ceilings at 3 a.m., wondering what the point of any of it is. But the collapse is not the enemy. The collapse is the doorway. Jung wrote that no tree can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. What you are experiencing right now is your roots descending. You are being pulled into the depths of yourself, into the parts you've ignored, into the rooms you've kept locked, into the shadows you've avoided your entire life. And it is dark down there. You will face the version of yourself you've been running from, the angry one, the wounded one, the ashamed one, the one who never got the love, the recognition, the safety it deserved. You will face the lies you told yourself just to survive. You will face the people you became just to be accepted. And you will mourn. You will mourn the years you wasted trying to be liked. You will mourn the relationships you stayed in too long. You will mourn the dreams you abandoned because someone told you they were unrealistic. You will mourn the version of you that could have existed if you had been brave enough earlier. This grief is sacred. Do not numb it. Do not rush it. Do not run from it, because this grief is the price of admission, the price of becoming real. And here is the secret most people miss. The collapse is not happening to you. The collapse is happening for you. The universe is not punishing you. The universe is preparing you. It is stripping you of everything that is not truly yours, so that what is truly yours can finally emerge. But to emerge, something must end first. Sit with the discomfort. Stop trying to fix it. Stop trying to escape it. Stop calling it depression and rushing to medicate it away. Stop calling it a phase and forcing yourself to snap out of it. Listen to it. Because in the silence of this collapse, a voice is trying to speak. A voice you have not heard in years, maybe in decades, maybe never. Your real voice. The voice that knew, even as a child, who you were before the world told you who to be. That voice is returning, and it has something to say. Part 2. The return of the true self. There is a life you were supposed to live. A version of you that existed before the world got its hands on you. Before the teachers told you to be quiet. Before the parents told you to be practical. Before the friends told you to be normal. Before the culture told you to be ambitious in a way that had nothing to do with your soul. That version of you never died. It went underground. Jung called it the unlived life, the dreams you buried, the talents you abandoned, the desires you suppressed, the future you walked away from because someone told you it was foolish. You thought you let it go. You didn't. It has been waiting. And right now, in the middle of your collapse, it is waking up. And it is angry. And it is loud. And it refuses to be ignored anymore. This is why you suddenly feel strange desires you can't explain. The urge to quit your job. The urge to leave the relationship. The urge to move to a new city. The urge to start something terrifying and uncertain. The urge to walk away from everything you spent years building. You think you're losing your mind. You're not. You're finding it. For the first time in years, the suppressed self is rising to the surface. The artist you buried, the leader you silenced, the healer you ignored, the wild, sovereign, untamed version of you that you traded for safety. It wants its life back, and it doesn't care how inconvenient that is. It doesn't care that you have a mortgage. It doesn't care that you have a 5-year plan. It doesn't care that people will think you're crazy. It doesn't care that the timing is wrong. The soul does not negotiate. It demands authenticity. Or it withdraws life force. That feeling of meaninglessness you've been carrying, that hollow ache that no amount of success or pleasure can fill, That is the soul pulling its energy back, refusing to invest one more second in a life that does not match its purpose. This is when the isolation begins. You start to notice that you no longer fit in conversations you used to enjoy. The jokes feel shallow. The gossip feels heavy. The complaints feel exhausting. You sit with people you've known for years and feel like a stranger. You stop reaching out. You stop replying. You stop caring whether they invite you anymore. Some of them will accuse you of changing. They will say you've become distant, cold, different. They are right. You have changed, but not in the way they think. You haven't become worse. You've become real. And reality is uncomfortable for people who built their lives on illusion. This is what Jung called the descent into the unconscious. You go inward. You stop chasing. You stop performing. You stop trying to be understood by people who never tried to understand you in the first place. And this is when the loneliness hits. A specific kind of loneliness. Not the loneliness of being alone. The loneliness of being misunderstood by everyone around you. The loneliness of evolving faster than your environment. The loneliness of becoming someone your old life cannot hold. You will look at your phone and realize there is no one to call. No one who would understand what you're going through. No one who could meet you at the depth you are now living at. This will hurt. But hear me carefully. This loneliness is not punishment. It is sacred isolation. It is the chrysalis, the cocoon, the cave. Every great transformation in human history happened in isolation. The prophets went to the desert. The monks went to the mountain. The philosophers went to the forest. The warriors went to the wilderness. Why? Because transformation requires silence. It requires distance from the noise of the world, from the opinions of others, from the endless input of voices telling you who to be, what to want, how to live. You cannot hear your own voice in a crowd. You must be alone to remember who you are. So if life has stripped your social circle down to almost nothing, if you've lost friends, lost lovers, lost belonging, do not panic. You are being protected. The universe is creating a sacred space around you, so the real you can emerge without interruption. So the new identity can form without being judged. So the new vision can crystallize without being diluted. Most people fight this. They run back to the noise. They cling to dying friendships. They stay in dead relationships. They refuse to be alone because being alone forces them to face themselves, and so they remain stuck forever. But not you. You are doing something rare. You are sitting in the silence. You are letting the old life die. You are allowing the cocoon to do its work. And here is what is happening inside that cocoon. The caterpillar does not become a butterfly. The caterpillar dissolves into liquid. It loses its shape entirely. It becomes nothing. And from that nothing, the butterfly emerges. You are in liquid form right now. You are nothing. You are everything. You are between identities. You are between lives. You are between worlds. This is the most powerful place a human can be, because it is the only place where transformation is actually possible. You cannot become new while clinging to the old. You cannot meet your destiny while still defending your past. You cannot embody your power while still apologizing for your existence. Something must end. And it is ending right now. Stop fighting it. The version of you that is collapsing was never the real you. It was a survival strategy. It served its purpose. It got you here. Thank it. Bless it. Release it. And turn your eyes forward. Because something is coming. Something that has been waiting your entire life. Part 3. Surrender, synchronicity, A&D power. There comes a moment in every transformation where fighting stops working. You've tried to think your way out of it. You've tried to plan your way out of it. You've tried to hustle, manifest, control, and force your way back to comfort, and nothing works. The harder you push, the worse it gets. The more you grip, the more it slips. The louder you demand answers, the deeper the silence becomes. This is when you face the final illusion. The illusion of control. You have spent your entire life believing that if you just tried hard enough, planned carefully enough, performed well enough, life would give you what you wanted. That the universe was a vending machine, and effort was the currency. But the universe is not a vending machine. The universe is a mirror. It does not respond to what you do. It responds to who you are. And right now, it is asking you to become someone new before it gives you anything new. Jung called this the encounter with the self, capital S, not the small self, not the ego, not the persona, the self, the deep, ancient, sovereign intelligence that has been living inside you your entire life. The one that knew, before you were born, exactly what you came here to do. Most people never meet this self. They live and die having never gone deep enough to encounter it. But the collapse you've been going through, the isolation, the exhaustion, the meaninglessness, that was the descent. You were being taken to the place where the self lives, the place beneath the noise, beneath the opinions, beneath the fear. And once you arrive there, everything changes. The first thing that changes is your relationship with control. You stop trying to force outcomes. You stop trying to manipulate timelines. You stop trying to predict the future. You begin to surrender, not in defeat, in trust. This is what Jung called active surrender. It is not passivity. It is not giving up. It is the radical, defiant act of trusting that something deeper than your conscious mind is steering the ship. And the moment you surrender, the universe responds. You will start to notice strange things. A book falls off a shelf. The exact book you needed. A stranger says something to you that answers a question you asked yesterday in your head. You think of a person, and they call. You set an intention, and the resources appear. Jung had a name for this. Synchronicity. Meaningful coincidence. The universe communicating directly with you in its own ancient language. Most people miss it. They are too distracted, too busy, too anxious to notice. But you, in your sacred isolation, in your stripped-down state, in your raw and quiet awareness, you start to see it everywhere. You start to feel guided. Not by religion, not by superstition, by something deeper, something undeniable, something that knows you better than you know yourself. This is the moment your power begins to return. But it will not look like the power you imagined. You thought power was about controlling, about forcing, about proving, about winning. Real power is none of those things. Real power is alignment. It is the state of being so deeply in tune with your own soul that you no longer need to force anything. The right people find you. The right opportunities find you. The right path opens beneath your feet, one step at a time, exactly as you need it. You stop chasing. You start attracting. You stop performing. You start commanding. You stop seeking validation. You start radiating presence. And here is where it gets terrifying, because as you step into this new power, you will have to face the deepest fear of all. Jung called it the golden shadow. We talk a lot about the dark shadow, the parts of ourselves we hate, the anger, the shame, the wounds we hide. But Jung said there is another shadow, a bright one, a golden one, the shadow of our greatness, the version of you that is brilliant, magnetic, powerful, visionary, sovereign, unstoppable. You have been hiding from this version of yourself your whole life because you were taught that being great makes you arrogant, that standing out makes you a target, that shining too brightly makes others uncomfortable. So you dimmed yourself, you played small, you apologized for your gifts, you hid your intelligence, you suppressed your charisma, you hid your ambition behind humility. You let mediocre people make you feel guilty for being more. And the golden shadow grew. It grew restless. It grew angry. It grew louder. And now, in this moment of transformation, it is demanding to come out. This is the deepest fear. Not failure. Not poverty. Not rejection. The fear of your own greatness. The fear of what your life would look like if you actually became who you were meant to be. The fear of the responsibility. The fear of the visibility. The fear of leaving behind the people who only loved you when you were small. But here is the truth you must accept. You did not come here to play small. You did not survive everything you've survived to live a quiet, average, forgettable life. You did not endure the collapse, the isolation, the death of your old self just to return to mediocrity. You were forged in fire for a reason, and that reason is now revealing itself. Part 4. Rebirth, Destiny, and the New Self. You are not the same person who started watching this video. Something has shifted. You can feel it. A quiet knowing in your chest. A weight lifting from your shoulders. A clarity replacing the confusion. This is the moment of rebirth. Not a dramatic, cinematic rebirth. A quiet one. A real one. The kind that happens in private. In silence. In the truth of who you have become through everything you have endured. You now understand something most people will never understand. Your suffering was not random. Your collapse was not failure. Your isolation was not punishment. Your emptiness was not depression. It was all initiation. Every culture in human history understood this. The hero's journey, the dark night of the soul, the descent into the underworld, the shaman's death, the mystic's surrender. Every wisdom tradition described the same process. The old self must die so the new self can be born. And you have just walked through that fire. You did not break. You broke open. There is a difference. Broken means destroyed. Broken open means revealed. The shell cracked. The light got in. The truth got out. The real you finally became visible. And now, the work begins. Not the old work of pleasing, performing, and proving. The new work of building, creating, and embodying. You will start to notice that life feels different now. People treat you differently. They sense something has changed. Some will be drawn to you. Others will be repelled by you. Both are correct. The ones drawn to you recognize the new frequency. They have been waiting for someone like you. They will become your new circle, your new collaborators, your new soul family. The ones repelled by you cannot survive in your new energy. Their masks crack in your presence. Your authenticity exposes their performance. So they retreat. Let them. You no longer chase. You no longer convince. You no longer beg for understanding from people who refuse to see you. You walk forward. And the path opens beneath your feet. You begin to take action from a different place, not from fear, not from scarcity, not from desperation, but from a deep, calm, grounded knowing of who you are and what you are here to do. You become a creator, not just of art, of your reality, of your environment, of your relationships, of your destiny. You stop reacting to life. You start authoring it. And this is when destiny meets you, because destiny was never going to meet the old version of you. The masked one, the pretending one, the afraid one. Destiny was waiting for the real you, the one who survived the descent, the one who faced the shadow, the one who reclaimed the golden self. And now that you have arrived, destiny moves toward you. Doors open that were locked for years. People appear who carry exactly what you need. Opportunities arrive that match the new frequency you are broadcasting. This is not magic. This is not love. This is the natural law that Jung discovered after a lifetime of studying the human soul. When you become whole, the world becomes whole around you. When you align with your truth, life aligns with you. When you stop running from yourself, everything you were chasing finally catches up. This is the law of the awakened life, and it is yours now. But hear me carefully on this final point. The temptation, now that you have crossed the threshold, will be to forget what brought you here. To forget the collapse, to forget the silence, to forget the depth of what you walked through. You must not, because the world will pull you back. The noise will return, the opinions will return, the pressure to perform will return. And if you are not careful, you will slip back into the old patterns, the old persona, the old performance. Stay close to the silence. Stay close to the solitude that birthed you. Stay close to the discipline of returning to yourself again and again beneath the noise. This is how you keep what you have earned. This is how you keep the new identity intact. This is how you keep the destiny that has finally arrived. And one more thing. There are others walking this path right now. Other men and women who are in the exact stage you were in just minutes ago. Lost, empty, confused, wondering if they are broken. They are not. And one day, you will stand in front of someone who is collapsing, and you will recognize the look in their eyes, and you will know exactly what to say. Because you have walked through the fire yourself, and the fire taught you the language of transformation. That is the final purpose of everything you have endured, not just to save yourself, but to become a torch for those still in the dark. This is the ancient path, the path Jung described, the path the wise have walked for thousands of years, and you are now on it. So when life feels strange in the coming weeks, when old comforts feel hollow, when old people feel distant, when old goals feel meaningless, do not panic. You are not losing your life. You are finally beginning it. The chapter that just ended was not the story. It was the prologue. The real story begins now. And it begins with you, the awakened, the sovereign, the one who survived the death, the one who chose to become real, the one who stopped running from greatness and finally turned to face it. If this resonated with you, if you felt seen, if you felt something stir inside of you that has been silent for too long, leave one phrase in the comments. The old me is dead. That is your declaration. That is your seal. That is your entrance into the silent army of those who chose to walk the path of becoming. Subscribe if you want more of these transmissions, because this is only the beginning. The next chapter is yours. Walk into it like you were born for it, because you were.